Hey there, GMI Tribe and all my other wonderful subscribers. I am coming to you tonight with a wine bottle that I am going to make into a witch's brew with glow-in-the-dark drips, and I'm going to apply a water slide. The reason why I'm doing the witch's brew, GMI Tribe, is because the other bottle that I displayed on our page would violate YouTube's community standards for gore and blood and horror and scary. So I cannot do that exact one, but I'm going to apply all the same steps on this bottle. So stick around and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is prep my bottle. Now you can buy these bottles on Amazon, but I'm all about recycling. So I can't tell you, I have like friends and family and whatever saving these wine bottles because, you know, why buy them if you can have, you know, if they're going to drink them and just throw them away. So, you know, I'm all about recycling if I can. So if you've seen my other bottle videos, you know that I scrape off the label. This one's and sorry, I'm videoing this way instead of this way because the bottle is tall and so it doesn't fit into frame. All right, and I'm just going to speed this up because I am pulling this label off. This one didn't need to be scraped because it was one of those like plastic labels. So I was able to pick it off with my finger. And then what was left behind was the residue. So it came off in a couple of pieces, but ultimately it came off pretty nicely. So now I'm going to use my scraper. Make sure, you know, because I'm using a razor scraper, that I'm scraping away from me. So if you're doing the same thing, make sure you're scraping away from you, because if it slips off the bottle, obviously, you know, you could get cut and sliced up really easily, and you definitely don't want that. So this label came off really nicely with this scraper, and I just kept going down with it until it was finally, you know, all off. And, you know, it might get, your razor might get gummy, so just pull it off and, you know, and then just keep going until you've got it all off. If you're not comfortable with scraping the label off, you can soak it in warm water for probably like 15 minutes to half an hour. And that should loosen it up to be able to like rub it off and then get the rest off with acetone. So after I get the labels off, I take a cotton ball and I rub off the residue. If the 91% alcohol doesn't work, then I use the acetone. And the reason why I use a cotton ball is I feel like the texture of it helps to get the glue off of the bottle. Although you can't reuse and keep using the cotton ball because it will redistribute the glue. So you can use a paper towel too. I don't know. I just like the cotton balls. And so I'll take a paper towel and I'll just give it a squirt down with 91% alcohol or acetone to just get any remaining residue off of the bottle, because we want a nice clean surface when we're going to go apply our spray paint. And so that's what I'm doing now. I couldn't find my paper towels, so I wound up using a coffee filter. Same thing, whatever. Just getting that extra residue off. So now that my bottle is nice and clean, I am going to get that top part off the bottle. So this is like an aluminum or metal. I don't know what it's actually made of, but it's hard to get off. I don't like trying to slice it with a scraper. I use my craft knife and I kind of like put it up under and like scissor it up. I like rock my craft knife back and forth and it kind of cuts it, but it cuts it super jagged. Again, making sure you cut away from you and being very careful, very gentle, because your edges are super jagged. If somebody knows a better way to do this, please comment below, let me know. But so far, this is the way I've been doing it. I'm just like super careful. Just be careful when you're peeling that off with your fingers. And then underneath it, you know, if there's any residue from, you know, wine or whatever, go ahead and use your 91% alcohol or your acetone to wipe that off and make sure that's nice and clean, because that's going to get sprayed with the spray paint as well. All right, and here I'm just showing you the water slide that I'm using. I did mirror the image so that when I put it on, I can put it on and then slide it down because that's so much easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this bottle and seal the water slide with gloss clear at the same time. All right, guys, so I took my bottle outside and my water slide. I am spraying my water slide with 2 times gloss clear. I'm going to do 3 coats of that. Let them dry for about 15 minutes in between each coat. I am spraying my wine bottle. I am going to give it 2 light coats, but I'm only going to show you the 1 light coat, and I'm going to let that dry about 15 minutes in between each. Alright guys, my bottle has 2 coats of white on it, 2 thin coats. I don't want it too thick because you want the light to be able to show through it. So now this is the gooey part. So I'm going to use my handprint. You can do an SVG handprint if you want. My hands are kind of small, so it doesn't wrap too far around the bottle. And I am actually, sorry, not the purple. I am going to do my handprint in green. Green for like Green Witch. And I'm just gonna pour it on there. Don't be afraid to get a little paint on your hands, people. Just paint it on. So I'm just going to keep painting this on my hand and spreading it out until it's nice and even. I don't want to saturate my hand, but I don't want it to be too dry either. So there's kind of like this weird, like, you know, wet but not too wet, you know, kind of thing. That I prefer. So, you know, that's up to you. And, you know, you can decide how much to put on or how little to put on depending on how solid you want your handprint. So I'm just putting it on with a foam brush. And then I'm going to grab the bottle like I'm picking it up, or I am actually picking it up. And make sure I get my palm on there and just do a little smear. And that is it. So I'm going to let that dry before I move on to the next step because I don't want to smear that anymore. Alright guys, so my handprint is dry and I'm going to apply my water slide. So I have soaked my water slide in lukewarm water. I prefer lukewarm over cold. You don't want it too hot, but I find it releases better from the paper when it's like lukewarm. So I pull it up a little bit. But I mirrored this, so I'm actually just gonna put it on here like this and hold the top and then slide this down. And oh my God, it's upside down. Ah, it's upside down. Let's see if I can save this. There we go. All right, pull it up. Woo! And now I'm going to do this again. So mirroring it is much easier. And so what I do once I've got it on is I position it with my fingers. I slide it around with my fingers, and I made a mistake by not wetting my bottle, so this is not moving. Make sure that you wet your surface before you put your water slide on. So yeah, my bad. I'm having kind of a not so great night. I'm really tired today. I'm not really sure why, but like super like yawning my butt off all day. So I don't know if I can pull this up and straighten this puppy out without ripping it. There we go. I'll put some water under here now. So that's why I like the gloss clear, sealing it, because I think you have a little bit more play with it. Like I don't know, it makes the water slide more durable. So I just pick this up and move this. Now I can slide it around because I put water underneath it. So water first, don't forget. All right, so I'm gonna smooth this out with my fingers. Some people do it with a squeegee, and I think this is so cool that you can see the fingerprints underneath. I like that. You may not, so you could do a smaller handprint, but I like it. Alright, so I'm just going to take my paper towel and just pat out the rest of the bubbles, make sure it's nice and smooth. If I have a bubble, a stubborn bubble in the middle, I will pop it with my craft knife, or not my craft knife, my weeding tool, and that will take it away. Alright, so now I am going to paint the top with the green paint that I used the handprint on, and I'm going to be sloppy about it, and I'm actually going to be goopy. I want it to be uneven, and I want it to be kind of like, I don't want to say chunky. Chunky kind of sounds gross, but it is kind of like chunky and uneven because it's going to be like liquid is coming out of there. So that's what I want for underneath when I start my drips. So I'll go ahead and dry it. Just, give it a quick dry with my heat gun. But you can see that it's kind of like, bubbly or chunky or whatever. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. I want texture. I don't want it to be, exactly 100% smooth. If you don't like that look, you can make it smoother. It's up to you. But I am going to do 2 coats of this. So I'm going to come back in with my green again and, put another coat around that top because I want it to be pretty solid because the white was showing through and I didn't want all the white showing through. I did want it to be a pretty solid green. So I just keep, going around the bottle, making sure it's kind of chunky. Here we go, that word again, chunky. And then I'm going to let that dry before I move on to the next step. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to splatter purple paint on there. And I'm doing the purple paint because, it's Halloween colors, but I also want to kind of break up that white. There's a lot of white, which is okay. But, I just want to put some texture in there. So how I do it is I use you can use either a toothbrush or I have the rough bristle chisel brush, I think they call it. And so the bristles are stiff and they're thick, so they splatter easy. So I just dip it in my paint and I go close to the bottle and I just, I don't even know, fan the bristles with my finger, and that's what causes it to splatter. I'm going to do this all around the bottle, and I'm going to, hit random places. I'm going to go even over the handprint, maybe a little bit over my water slide, and just get it in there. It's just for interest. But, the reason why I'm showing you this and the reason why I'm really doing this is because that's how I did the blood splatters on the other bottle. And so if that, that's how you would do it. Toothbrush or the bristle, and just, fan your finger with it and go all around until you've got the desired look. Alright guys, so I am cleaned up. So now I'm getting ready to show you my concoction. So this is my game changer for drips, and I haven't used this on a cup yet, but I've done it on the bottle, and I absolutely love how this worked out. So I'm going to take UV resin, and I am going to put it into a medicine cup, and I'm going to use, this is getting low, I'm going to use 10 mLs. So yeah, I'm mixing 10 mLs. You won't use it all, but I'd rather use a little bit more than less because of the way I'm using a medicine dropper. So I got these off of Amazon, and what I do is I cut the tip so that I can get a bigger drip come out, because that's like a fine tip, so I want a little bit more to come out at a time, so I cut that tip off. The curvature doesn't matter. I'm going to take this neon, it's epoxy pigment. I'm going to do about 2 drops in there and see how that comes out. I'm going to do a little bit of this green because we want, a pretty good solid green color. So I don't want too much to come out, so I'm going to be very cautious. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to pull some out. There we go. And I'm going to mix it into my UV resin. So I heard that when you mess with UV resin, it takes longer for it to cure. I haven't tried, tested that theory, but somebody posted that on one of my last videos, And I'm really messing with this, so it may not cure fully. It probably won't cure fully until I get it out in the sun tomorrow, because we are done with sun tonight. So that's what I'm gonna do. And for a little extra fun, let's do some glow in the dark. And so if you guys are watching my channel, you know that I love glow in the dark. Love, love, love glow in the dark. And I will use it every chance I get. So I'm going to throw some glow in the dark powder in here and get that all mixed up. And it's a little bit gritty, you can hear it. UV resin has an odor to it. It's kind of stinky. I've gotten used to it. You might want to wear a mask. I don't know that it's necessary, but it's definitely stinky. I'm going to make sure I got some glow going. And what do I got in here? I got a glue something. I have no idea what that is. Alright, I'm going to take that out. And we're going to stir up again. I'm worried I don't have enough UV powder, and I can't really tell because I got so much bright light. So I'm going to turn this light off for a second. Let's see. Yeah, I think I want some more. There's some more glow powder in there. Alright, that's all I'm going to put in there. Oh. Duh. I'm putting the UV light on it. I'm curing it. I'm already starting to cure it. Oh my god. I'm curing the top layer. That's how quick it cures. So, yeah, don't use your UV light to try to test it. Don't make the same mistakes as I am making. I'm so silly. Alright. So, here we go. Alright, so I have a lot of bubbles in there from mixing it up. I'm just going to give it a light torch with my kitchen torch, get those bubbles out. So now I am going to suck up this UV resin, put it off to the side. Alright, how can I do this so that you guys can see this and I don't mess up? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here with my drip. I'm going to put this down, and when my drip gets to where I want it, I'm going to UV light it and freeze it. And it might drip a little bit more, so just hold it on there. But basically when you get it where you want it, just hit that UV light and just freeze. Alright, so I'm gonna come here. Can you, and oh, you guys, oh my god, you weren't even in frame, you didn't see it. So here we go again. Alright, I'm gonna put that on there and I'm gonna let it drip. And when it gets to where I want it, I'm just gonna hit it with the UV light and stop the drip. How many times was I out of frame tonight? Seriously. Alright guys, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I was having a really rough night when I was filming this, super ultra tired, and just I couldn't get my head in the game. So I apologize. And so I'm just going to keep doing this drip all around the bottle. I am going to, start it at the top and let it go down. And when it gets to the point of where it's, where I want it to end, I'm going to hit it with that UV light, because it's not an instant freeze, but, within 2 seconds. So it could still drip for like 2 seconds. So right before it gets to where you want it, hit it with that UV light. And then it's going to freeze, which is really cool because, once you hit it on the light for, like even 10 seconds, it's not going anywhere. So I am just going to keep on going around, and I'm just going to play some music because there's nothing really more that I need to narrate. So you can listen to the wonderful iMovie music until I am done with this part of this bottle. Okay, so moving on to the bottle light. So I'm just gonna, they always come in like this cork color. So I found that Sharpie marker works really well for coloring the cork, whatever color you want. So like with this, I want it to be green. So I just grab my green Sharpie and just go along. Make sure you wear gloves because you will get some on your fingers. But, you know, that is it. Just go and just keep coloring it in. And then I will, when I'm doing my final coats of polyacrylic, I will put some polyacrylic on the top of this too. All right, so I left my bottle outside for a couple hours today in the sun. Well, actually, it wasn't sunny. It was cloudy, but so it took a little bit longer, but it's completely cured now. And so now I am going to put my first coat of polyacrylic on, and I'm going to smooth it out with my Mod Podge brush, and I'm going to do the entire bottle. I'm just going to seal this up really nice so, you know, it's easy cleaning. And I'm going to let it dry for probably like 15-20 minutes in between each coat. And I am going to hit the top of the bottle light. I'm going to hit the top of that too, to just give that a coat on the top. Not the whole thing, just like the top of it. And then I will be ready to put my other light on, and then this bottle will be done. Hey guys, I'm back with this bottle and she is dry. So now I am just going to apply this light. It is a disc light and I ordered this off of Amazon, and this particular one wasn't available. This is my last one and I needed more. So I did find others and I will link that below. So this peels off here, and that's how you can stick it to the bottom of your bottle. And so just gonna flip it upside down and put it right smack in the middle, give it a good press, and then that is it. So you gotta press the center to turn it on. There's a couple of different modes. You're not gonna be able to see it really well, so I am going to turn my light out. There, now you can see it, and here is this other light. So you can do a combination of both lights or just one light. I love, you know, all of it. So it's like kind of like a mood thing, like depending on what my mood is as to what I'm gonna want it to do. So let's see. So that's kind of, you know, like a flashy light. And this light inside's pretty bright. And then this is the last mode on this particular light. And again, turn it off. So like, I love this. This is so super cool. Even, you know, like parties and stuff, it would be really neat. So here you have it, guys. This is it for this tutorial. So I applied all the same techniques on this bottle as I did on my scary one that I posted in the Glitter Makes It group. So if you have any questions, you know, any further questions, feel free to reach out to me, make a comment below. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I want to hear your comments. I love to hear your feedback. And I will see you all next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.